because John was like the young daredevil. Really, he was fearless. Me, I the personality. Joey, he was the brains, and he was the glue.
Rewind, Recap, Relive. For over 50 episodes, the revolutionary force in wrestling interview.
Jumping in, just speaking of being a heel, Melina, you said most of your time in wrestling was a heel. I'd love to go to one of the times we saw that as MNM, of course. Mainly your first time on main roster, I think, as like a real heel, right? Can you talk about some of your roles that you did to get that team over, and how the team even formed such a memorable team in wrestling history?
You know, I look back at my life and I think, when people say the right place at the right time, when people say like things happen for a reason, like I, I just think of the course of everything that has happened that's led me to and through wrestling. I really believe like everything happens like it's like I forced my way through shit. Like the entrance, how I got into wrestling, all these things where it's like the grace of whatever's out there. Honestly, like who would have known that they first off, no one believed I could ever be healed. They're like, she's too nice, she's too quiet, she's too sweet. Like, there's no way. Like everybody would dismiss me all the time about being a heel. And I didn't, I mean, it took me a while, but like to watch people, and then I'm like, no, I can do it. Like I'm telling you guys, I could do it. And then once I did it, no one could ever see me as a baby face ever again. And it was just, I was so proud to prove to them that I could do something that they told me I couldn't. And it's like I was dating John at the time, so they had us together. And I think it's because John was still like, for a guy, because he came from Tough Enough, he was still green when it came to psychology. So
Mhm.
they looked at Joey Matthews and they're like, you know what? Because he's a genius. He's a freaking genius. You have to, uh, hopefully people could learn from him whenever they spoke to him. If it wasn't, you know, people weren't afraid to talk to him, but he's a brilliant mind. Like the things that come out of his brain, we each played a part. It was a beautiful pairing because John was like the young daredevil. Really, he was fearless. Me, I the personality. Joey, he was the brains, and he was the glue. He's the one who knew how to direct. He taught me, he taught all of us. Like we were a perfect balance of like giving a piece of ourselves and making a group, even though we could individually stand alone. But as a group, we were just, we fit as a family. And that was in OVW when they put us all together.
That's
That's where,
so
and like, it
sorry.
was, OVW was like, I think is it a different spot now? Like, I'm wondering if it's a different spot now, if it's the same arena.
It's
I gotta ask about, huh? The
David.
David? Yeah.
Everything is probably exactly how you left it too.
I love it. So yeah, the entrance was born there. Our like the red
Wow.
carpet, everything, and we just came up with it all because basically when people looked at me, because in my eyes I was a tomboy, everyone saw me as like a girly girl. Where I was like, really, what? And it's everyone saw me as like this LA model, and I was like, modeling. Well, I just like did one commercial thing, and that's it. That's the extent of my modeling. But everybody perceived me in a certain way, and we're taught that perception is reality.
Mhm.
And so our thought process was, okay, well, if this is the way they look at you, and then John's from LA too, so let's give them LA. So that's why we created M&M. We're like, we're gonna give them LA because that's what they see when they look at us. And I'm like,
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
change their minds if they're already thinking that.
Yeah, except we just make it really extra. That's it.
Yeah,
I
everything.
never in my life, like I always wore pants. I always wore pants all the time. I never wore dresses or skirts. And, that character helped me become more girly. Like it, it really made me I don't know. I always thought like I was such a tomboy. This is why I didn't wear dresses. This is why I didn't do this. This is why I didn't wear makeup. And then I realized, well, maybe it wasn't that, I just didn't want to. Maybe I was afraid to. I don't know, but I embraced it. And I felt like I learned about another part of myself. I love doing hair. I love makeup. I love dressing up. I love, like, there's so many things that I learned about myself and I embraced the role. That's
Wow.
great.
That's really cool that gave you that much out of that role too, and especially so early in your career to learn so much about
Yeah.
yourself.
And learn how to be a manager. Managing is an art. Like, I looked down on it because I thought it was just being a valet, but it's an art form, and you have to be aware of everything. Like you have to know each sides of whatever everybody's doing, and being there for them, and being able to respect their match while contributing to it.
Rewind, recap, relive. For over 50 episodes, the revolutionary force in wrestling interviews.